Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is a pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 31st of December. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own chart. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. Okay, right, we saw a decent decline yesterday. What we haven't seen yet is a lower low, and I'm expecting to see one. So what's going to happen today? Well, it's the last day of the year. I think it's half trading day today, so I'm not really expecting an awful lot of interest to happen. I might be mistaken, but I think we may well just kick around sideways or rally slightly into the monthly pivot. Of course, this is the last day for this monthly pivot. I'll have all new ones by tomorrow night. But I think probably not going to see an awful lot of action. Might kick around a bit, but we're still, I think, owed a lower low here, and we could go considerably lower. So we will see how that goes. No divergence here. We had an opportunity to get across the board buy signals yesterday morning, but we lost all the divergences. You can see went down and tested it here, went lower on NQ, I think. Yes, it did. So we lost all the potential positive divergence there. And until we retest yesterday's lows, we're not going to get that back again. All right, RTY, again, made a lower low. None of these have reached the prior lows yet, and I think we're likely to see that. Are there alternatives here? Yeah, we could form an ABC bear flag, go a little higher here. I'm not seeing any obvious reason to think that would be the case, but we could certainly do that on YM. We could certainly do that on RTY. Not so much on NQ and ES, because tech led the rally up, and these would be both too large to be bear flags. Looking at DAX and STX, broken down but not made a new low yet. ESTX broken down but not made a new low yet. So 4 of these barely made it off the lows because tech was the rally. Last week. 4 of them barely made off the lows, and we could still be forming bear flags, but I'm not really seeing a strong case for that. I'm thinking we'll just kick around for a bit and then we will go and make lower lows. So the question is, where do we go on the lower lows? So let's have another look. Right, I was having a look this morning at the 15-minute charts. We had some buy signals on the 15-minute RSI 14s yesterday morning. The one on Dyer failed. The one on Qs is hanging in there, but I'm not really expecting a great deal from it. We could see that play out today, potentially, maybe go back and test the open yesterday, but I'm really thinking that we are going to be heading down pretty soon. On SPX, the RSI 514 buy signal survived so far, but it's not really something I'm reading a great deal into. In terms of the IWM chart, hang on a second. Right, IWM chart, it survived as well, but I'm really expecting to see lower lows. But of course, on IWM, not on RTY, but on IWM, we have already made a lower low. But we've got a lower target here because, of course, I've got a couple of targets here, one of which I hadn't marked in on this chart, which is the double top target, which is considerably lower. I did mark in because this was a pretty decent looking bull flag, and obviously it was a megaphone and it broke the other way, and that's got a clear target, and that's got a target in the 213 area. The bigger pattern here has got a target in the 206 to 209 area, which I think is likely to be made. But we've made a marginal lower low here. This could be a double bottom, but we're not seeing anything really much to support that on the other charts. Let's have a look at the SPX charts. Now, SPX, obviously, we could be forming a head and shoulders here. If we see a sustained breakdown below 5825 area, then we would be looking for a target in, hang on. Okay, I haven't drawn that in. But we'd be looking for a target down about the 5575 area. And that would be an obvious area to go to because we've got the rising wedge, got a string of these have broken down, back tested, and we would be heading down into the 50%, 61.8% retracement area, which would be a very logical target. All right, looking at the daily charts, very nice back test set up on ES here. This was not quite as clean on SPX, but here this was a back test of the daily middle band. It was a back test of the broken wedge support. and then a fail, which is obviously in progress. But we've got a nice looking head and shoulders here too. I think this has got a very good shot. I'm keeping an open mind for next year. I think next year is likely to be turbulent. That doesn't necessarily mean we could see potentially a lot of downside on equities. But that doesn't necessarily mean a lot of downside on equities, and there are reasons to think that we might not see that. I am thinking that we're going to see some serious turbulence, probably at least odds on, in the bond market, but that is another issue. And that wouldn't necessarily cause a big problem in the equity market. All right, looking at Qs. Back below the daily middle band with confidence, got back to the daily lower band almost, looking for more downside there. Do we have a topping pattern there? No, but I am thinking what we might be doing is forming an A, B, C bull flag. Maybe get down into the 495 to 500 area and might well hold there as and when we see it, and for a retest of the high. One thing that we do see, even if we're in a topping process, is in a topping process we do tend to see quite a few retests of the highs. So unless we see some news which is really taking the market down hard, which we could, then I'd be looking for retests. Okay, Dyer on the daily, never made it back to the daily middle band, almost back at the lows already, expecting to see lower. Do we have a topping pattern here? No, I think it's a simple answer. I do have a potential head and shoulders here, but it's just too ugly to put in. I'm not really expecting to see anything from it. So this is the one where we haven't really got a topping pattern. And no prospect of getting one at the moment. We will see. All right, great. So let's have a look at DAX and Nikkei. So bear with me a moment. All right, hang on a second. All right, DAX. Weekday yesterday, leaning towards the downside. I would note that the daily lower band, well, the bands are still compressing here. If we're going to see a decent move to the downside, they'll need to start expanding. We do still have a. Do we have? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think we've got a. No, I'm not sure we do have a weak RSI 5 buy. So we had a weak RSI 5 sell signal brewing, and that fixed and made target. We've still got a weak signal on the RSI 14. Nothing on the RSI. Nothing on the buy side yet. On Nikkei. Nikkei pulling back a bit, but it's only actually made it back really to the daily upper band. This is still looking borderline bullish, really. Not really expecting to see that deliver to the upside, but getting over 40.3k improves the odds, I think, that we're going to test 42.4k in the first quarter next year. So we will see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at DX. Okay, DX. Still leaning towards seeing a retest of this high. We're in a big inflection point here. We could see a sizable retracement and still be in this inflection point. But the question is, are we topping out here, which we could be, and starting a big decline, or are we going to go head higher and possibly retest a high at 114.75, which I think is definitely one of the options here, and actually might be one of the cleanest from a technical point of view. ZB, I was expecting to see a rally yesterday. We did see it. I'm expecting it to turn back down again, and it seems to be starting doing that. CL. Went a bit higher. Possible double top here. It's a little oversized with the overshoot over 71. No current negative divergence. Not really expecting to see a breakout to the upside, but I would note that we've now got over this high here and this high here. We're short of this high here. This could be a triangle forming. No break to the upside so far, but if we actually get up over 72, then this will start to look like a break to the upside. So we will see how that goes. NG has gone higher. As I said, it's broken up. So we will see where it lands. Could well go higher. We're seeing very sharp moves, sharp retracements, standard NG stuff really. Only this is about the only instrument that can go up 10% a day, and I don't really think an awful lot of it. It's we're seeing that kind of action at the moment. So we will see how it goes. In fact, actually, it's down like 12%, 13% from yesterday's high. Wow, only on NG. All right, GC. GC, still wondering about a retest of this low on SI. We're seeing the retest of the low, and a 60-minute buy signal is fixed after the initial one failed. We haven't quite retested the low yet, and I'm leaning towards seeing that. HG finally retested the low. Looked like a flag. Could go lower, of course. We're messing up. We're going lower at the moment, and that's messing up the nice-looking double bottom setup that we could have had. But the larger double bottom setup is still looking pretty good. Waiting to see some positive divergence. We are looking pretty oversold on the hourly chart. All right, looking at KC, still leaning towards seeing a retest this high. Crop troubles are likely to keep a bit under this market. SB, possible double bottom here. I am wondering whether we're open to the downside now, even if we see a rally here, because of this decline here, which didn't fit with the previous bull flag setup. CC. Nice decline, nice rally. Could be forming a larger bull flag. This doesn't look like a bull flag, but if we go A, B, C, then we could get a pretty decent one. Very steep though, kind of looking like NG in terms of the size of the moves at the moment. ZW. ZW, we've got nice little rally here, but it could be a bear flag on corn. Coming back into a retest of the high. Bigger picture, this all looks like a possible bear flag forming, so I'm a little wary about corn. On soy, nice rally up here, and we're now testing declining resistance, which hasn't broken yet. This is an obvious fail area, and we just broke the 3-touch rising support trend line, so I'm thinking we might see a reversal here. On cotton, nice looking overall double bottom setup here, which I'm watching. Lumber, not seeing any particular reason to see why we won't come back and retest this low, so I'm thinking that may well be what we see next. Live cattle, leaning towards seeing a retest of this high here in the 193.2 area. And lean hogs, we've got a still looks like a bull flag forming. Might not be one, but I'm not really seeing an alternative possible reversal pattern, so we'll see how that goes. All right, great. Okay, what am I expecting today? Nothing of any great excitement. So I'm thinking we might see some light rallying. The historical stats are weakly bullish. It's going to be a very low volume day, which doesn't favor a big decline. So I'm thinking we're going to kick around for the day, and we're probably going to start going down in at the beginning of January, and we will see where that goes. So in the meantime, have a really, really great New Year's Eve, and I'm looking forward to the new year. This should be a lot of fun. So I will see you on Thursday. All right, take care, guys.